Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
I'm going to tell you, it's brought to you by Dispose LLC. This is a nice little garbage company that's doing big things. I like to see it doing bigger things, but I'm going to need your help. So I need you to go to that website of Dispose LLC. But you'll be able to see some of the great things that we do on the website. It's out there, but it's under construction. We're going to try to make it a little bit better. Okay. Make it friendly, usable, where you can find ways to get me to talk to you. And I'm there for you. That's right, at Dispose. Now, I got to get back to this person who's been rocking with me for, 4 years, come September the 17th. Craftmatic, how you doing, big baby?
Man, I'm doing great tonight, bro.
You still over there? You still over there smiling?
Yeah.
Right next to somebody else smiling. Why the hell y'all keep coming here smiling? I be frowning. Yeah. Y'all need to give me the same rate.
Well, listen, you smiling too.
That's because y'all be smiling. Yeah. I'll be catching
it's
on to that.
It's contagious.
And that's a good thing. I want that kind of life. That's what I'm telling y'all. Catch the vibe.
Yes. And of course, we do have Stephanie in the house with us tonight.
Nice smile. Look at it.
Hello.
Pearly white.
Pull the mic to you so we can make sure we hear you, right?
Yeah, just grab onto it, girl, with this both hands. Yeah. Okay. But anyway, back to us.
I think a perfect time to introduce ourselves. This is Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay. We've got Stephanie in the house tonight. And we are here to simply liberate you with inspirational dialogue. Mm-hmm. We're going to have a fantastic discussion, and we hope that you, from your seat, can be inspired by the conversation. Yes. And that you can be lifted up in your spirit. And we hope that we give you a picture, an image of some situations and circumstances that happen in real life that you can begin to make some decisions about right now in your own living room or from your own office or wherever you're listening to this program. Mm-hmm. Really get into the subject. It's very therapeutic once you go through one of our shows and you get an opportunity to kind of figure out who you are and what you want to be and what our opinions and our experiences do for you in your own thinking. So we're just so glad that you're here, and we appreciate every one of you, whether you're watching this show sooner or later. We would not be anything without you, and so this is all for you. Jay put this vision together about 4.5 years ago, and we've been sitting here just wanting to uplift the community with positive information, a fun-filled show that's just got so many dynamics to it. No show is the same. And I assure you, if you stay with us, you're going to really, really enjoy this program tonight. Now, we always start the show off with a prayer. And Jay, would you like to do our prayer tonight?
All right, you pushing me. I feel like sometime I got to answer the question.
Okay.
Let me go to the Lord.
Okay.
Lord, help us right now. There's a lot of haters out there. There's a lot of people that have nothing but hate in their heart. Mm-hmm. They want to do things to our people that I need you to protect them. Yes. I need you to take that hate out of them. It was taught. It was not taught by you. Yes. Can you help them see a better light? See your light, not the light that somebody else gave them. Yes. Not let them feel that hate. Not let them put hands on somebody that does not deserve it. Yes. Can you help us at this dark time? Regardless of who calling us their leader, can you lead us?
Yes.
Show a light other than what somebody else is showing, because at this time we need you.
Yes.
And if you can do this, I promise you, I will stay forever in your grace.
Yes.
In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen. And yes, he can do it, Jay. Yes, he can do it. That was supernaturally inspiring, because sometimes, I would imagine, people who might be listening to this program, sometimes you just don't know what to pray for. Right? Sometimes you're so caught up in the moment and in the thick of things, you don't even know how to pray and what to pray for. And to hear someone else's prayers might inspire you to do your own prayer. Yes. And you really came from the heart with that, Jay, because we really don't know what's going on, but Lord, can you help us? Yes. Can you lead us? Can you guide us? Can you inspire us? Can you show us something different? I mean, you really spoke that out, man. I appreciate that. Really appreciate that. I am going to let's go ahead and take a look at last week's topic.
Uh-oh.
And it was a great topic, and we're going to actually piggyback on this topic tonight for tonight's show. But last week we talked about how do you move on and continue living life after a long-term relationship, breakup, death, or divorce with a spouse.
And when we came up with this, I know it's going to be a difficult one thing. Because again, when you have that kind of love for a person, it's hard to let go.
It's hard to let go.
But again, when you made promises with these people and then you are led on a path, you have to continue past the hurt and the pain. And that's hard to hear from somebody else. It's something that you got to grab within yourself. So again, I don't never want to just look for the end. I always want to look for the love. I want to look for the best in the person, not the worst.
Right.
And them times right there it might be upon me when I come to see people, because again, when I'm 50 now, so everything ain't gonna be the same later. So what are you doing now?
Right.
To show that love, to show that commitment, what are you doing now? It'll help you then, because at that time it's gonna be real dark.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be hard for you to hear anybody.
Yeah. I
just want you to hear the love of yourself, because that's what's gonna bring you out of it.
What a great point. What a great point. I tell you what, there's no better time than now to show your love, because tomorrow is not promised to any of us. We see people fading away, right? Right before our eyes, you know, thousands of people just disappearing into back into the earth, so to speak. And you know, we oftentimes have to ask ourselves when anybody passes, you know, did we do what we were supposed to do with that person? You know, did we stand in the gap? What did we help them when we were supposed to help them? And, you know, to some degree, we're all going to have, I think, a little regret that we could have done more. Don't beat yourself up too long, but for that. But give the love now. You know, if you're in a marriage and it's challenging, keep fighting, keep giving, keep pouring in. You know, your relationship can never be about the other person. Right? That your relationship has got to be you. So it's not that they're making you unhappy, it's that you want something more, or you see yourself with what do you mean?
What's wrong with wanting something more?
No, nothing is wrong with that.
I missed it.
Well, it's a perspective. I'm glad you said that, right? It's the perspective that I'm unhappy because they're making me unhappy, right? And so now they're the problem. No, the problem is not them. The problem is me. I'm making me unhappy because I'm allowing myself to stay in this. I'm allowing myself to put up with this stuff. I'm not choosing my greater choice to find something else or someone else, et cetera, you know? So, you know, again, we always, a lot of times, point the finger at others, and it really is on us sometimes, you know? And taking a good look in the mirror, man, is probably one of the most important turnkey, I guess, what we'll call it bridges in this struggle to let go, right? How you look in the mirror and you can really say, I've tried, I want something bigger, I want something better, it's time to go, it just doesn't make sense anymore, I'm not getting anything out of it, it's not going anywhere, I don't like them, they don't like me. I mean, there's going to come a point where you look in the mirror and say, hey, enough is enough, and now it is time to go. And we talked, I think we did a fantastic job of how we discussed the topic all the way from being in the relationship and already knowing that it's over. And it's already over, but you're in it, and sometimes some people stay in it for years, and it has been over, right? All the way to, the complete other side of the equation, where you've left, you divorced, you out of it, you're out of the house, and how do you begin to take care of yourself after the fact? How do you begin to think about yourself and your life? What kind of things might you need to do in order to start the healing process? One of the greatest things that we always say in this show is that nobody's healing. And so we even, the one, Jay and somebody else gave a notion that for every...
That was Jeffrey?
Yeah, Jeffrey. Okay, Jay and Jeffrey
Every
say...
year a month?
Yeah, every year a month. I don't think a month is enough time to heal from a year's relationship. Right?
Get your small form.
Yeah, but it was a dynamic show, man. I just can't say enough about how we delivered that message. Letting go is the key, and whether you let go, it's possible, I guess, to let go and still be there, right? For a little while. Okay. See, what happens is when a breakup is unfolding, one of the very first things you have to consider in the entire equation is taking yourself back. You have to take yourself back first before you can ever leave a situation, right? And that means that, okay, it's time to start looking out for me. It's time to start protecting myself. It's time to make this move. I might need to make it quietly. I might need to make a lot of noise. I don't know, but
I know I gotta go.
I gotta go.
Yeah, that's it.
And but I tell you, I've done it. One of my greatest mental hurdles of my past is my relationship with my ex, and I got to a point where I said, "It's time. It's time to go." And once I started talking that stuff, and I guess divinity was moving upon me. I was singing songs in the shower, that was about letting go, and it was just natural synchronicity stuff started happening. But the first thing I did was take myself back.
In the shower, right?
Stop.
Why you the one in the shower? Singing in the rain.
You're a very Jay.
Yeah. Oh, I'm burnt. You went in that car.
Oh, we talking about snakes, man.
I remember saying, what she told you? Singing in the rain.
Oh,
I was like, Mom and Daddy, what you just Grab having the moment. Just ain't.
So,
You see? Got that rolling.
So y'all check out the show. We are all over the internet: Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and I think there's several others out there.
Yeah, you missing all of them. Let Go, Offer Up, Black Panic, To the Moon and Back. We're gonna make some new ones up.
Yeah.
Wherever you really want to go.
Wherever you are, that's what we are. Absolutely.
That's what we're trying to do.
Absolutely.
Come on now.
And so, with that, we got just a few minutes here, Jay. We actually got about 6-7 minutes before we go. I think Barb here was asking a question, but rather than do the question, I'm going to just do another real quick segment, right? That I always love kind of just giving wisdom, giving information that has helped me in my life.
Okay.
And you did an outstanding prayer, and I had developed a prayer that I was going to say before you took notion. And I want to just talk about what we should ask for in prayer. Right? Prayer is very powerful. Anybody who's ever used it or tried it or lived that philosophy and understand the word and what the word is saying, that we know that prayer changes things. And what I'm attempting to do in this discussion is to help you elevate your prayers, increase your prayer power, right? Increase the effects and the response to your prayers. When you pray for something, you should see it manifest. You should be able to see it come to full life and full circle. Say, wow, I got this. I prayed for this. You should be able to see evidence of your prayers. But you won't see evidence if you lollygag in prayer. If you just ask for simple things and if you're not specific in your prayers, if you are not clear enough. See, I always was taught that when you pray, you have to pray in words that create pictures. And the picture has to be vivid enough so you can hand it over to God and He'll know exactly what you want, right? But if you haven't spoken that picture, then the Lord doesn't have a clear enough picture to be revealing your blessing, right? He knows what you want, but He's not going to give it to you until you learn how to ask for it rightly. And so one of the things that I want you to ask for in prayer, this is just a list of things to ask for in prayer. Ask the Lord to teach you how to pray. Ask the Lord to teach you the prayers that have been most effective throughout the history of mankind. Ask the Lord to teach you how to pray like the prophets, to pray like the pastors, to pray effectively. Ask the Lord to help you pray constantly and consistently. Ask the Lord to help you pray more and all the time. Ask the Lord to help you pray in the morning and at midday and in the evening, and do it, regularly, so that you can really have a prayer life, right? Because every prayer is going to allow you to get a little bit closer to God, right? Ask for prayers, ask in prayer that God come closer to you, that you know Him and that you understand Him and that you can hear His voice and you can hear His guidance and His leadership. Ask to have an intimate relationship with God. Ask God to help you pray rightly and to pray for understanding. Ask God to pray through you. Sometimes when you don't know what to pray for and you don't know how to pray and things are just rattled. I don't know what to pray for, but Lord, pray through me. Pray through me. Pray for me. Help me pray. What do I need to pray for in this situation, Lord? What is this? In this situation, I can't see what's happening, but I want you to help me, Lord, identify what to pray for and put word in my mouth and speak it through me and let that word live in me all day, every day. I'm setting precedent. I'm asking the Lord to keep this the center, right? And this is not just necessarily my head and my brain and my mind. This is my spirit, right? This is my spirit right here. Ask God for power in your prayer. Ask God for a strong belief system. Ask God for right thinking and for right attitudes. If you're in a situation with your boss at work, ask God to give you the right thoughts and the right attitudes about your boss and about the situation. Ask him to give you victory over the situation. Ask him to give you understanding about the people. Ask him to give you progress and forward movement. Ask him for achievement in whatever you desire. But ask specifically for what you want to achieve. Now I understand why the Lord said we should pray ceaselessly. Because even if we pray ceaselessly, we don't have enough time or room to pray for everything that needs to be prayed for. And so I'm asking you to take your prayers not from what you can do, but pray that the Lord do what he can do in your life. Ask for supernatural activity in your life. Ask for a prayer of something that is far greater than you can achieve yourself. You got to reach high in the sky.
I see that.
In order to achieve what the Lord wants you to achieve. Right? You got to reach high. You got to be connected with him on high. And that's in your mind and in your spirit and in your prayers and in your words and in your thoughts and your dreams and your goals and your attitudes. All of those things represent what I see about myself tomorrow. You have to live in the clouds. You have to live in the mountaintops every single day while you're walking the streets. And that's all this message is about, is to lift your word and to lift your prayer. Speak life. That's what it's all about, man.
And can I add one? If I had to add one, if I want to make one real simple, I pray for the Lord to use me as a vessel.
Yes.
And use my voice for his will.
Yes.
And I usually say that a lot of the times because you don't always know what to say.
Yes.
Especially with the world hurting right now.
Yes.
So when I gave him my prayer, it was a prayer of what he wanted me to say.
Yes.
So again, don't be scared to open up. And don't be scared to say what he wants you to say, what you just feel on the inside. But you, like, do I might offend? It's not about offend. Can you touch?
Yes.
Are you willing to reach?
Yes.
Are you still scared to teach?
Yes.
That's going to be up to you.
Yes. Yes. Just piggyback on that a second. Ask the Lord for your purpose and your mission in life. I ask him all the time, regularly. I say, Lord, you put a seed in me at the beginning of me. And you have every intention for that seed to produce X amount of fruit or X fruit. And I don't know what that fruit is, but I'm asking, Lord, that you guide me to producing that fruit. Use me, take me in the right direction, organize my steps, keep my path clean and whole and pure, and keep my steps ordered by you. I'm asking the Lord to just do all that he can do in my life. And maybe that's why my life is so blessed, because I really have great faith that he is here with me and that he guides me in every step of the way. And every little thing that happened. I'm in traffic, and traffic's at a dead standstill. And I'm starting to get upset in my worldly mind. And then all of a sudden the Lord's like, no, son, just chill. I got you. You're all right. There's something going on up there in the next block. I just need you to sit tight. And I'll turn my music up, or I'll put on a song or a prayer in the car. And I just sit back and relax, because I know he's always guiding me. So a very powerful segment. And I'm really hoping you folks can vibe with what I just shared with you. Increase your prayer life. I promise you, you will increase your life. And that's just the bottom line. All right. Now, let me go ahead and give you tonight's topic. And this is going to be a challenging topic.
No, I got help tonight.
Yeah, yeah, we got lots of help. This is a challenging topic. So I'm gonna give you the topic for tonight,
What you
and we got some great music for our breaks. If you can't hear the music, by the way, folks, just make sure you forward through it. And we're only about 3 minutes. Each song's about 3-4 minutes, and we come right back with the next segment. So tonight's topic is, how do you handle it when someone isn't into you, or you're not into someone?
Ooh, we got
Yeah.
somebody that can say it from the other side. I got my side.
How do you handle it when you're not into someone or someone isn't into you?
Ooh, I can't wait to come back from break.
Yeah, I can't wait either. We're gonna tear this one up. So, we again thank you, folks. We hope you have enjoyed this first segment. We're gonna go ahead and take our first break, and we'll come back and really just go in on the subject for tonight. So, y'all stay tuned. We're gonna be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay. We had a pretty strong segment.
Yeah.
And I always love our opening
When we
segments.
talk prayer,
Yeah,
had understanding.
yeah, yeah,
Oh my goodness.
yeah, good stuff. And we're gonna get some understanding tonight about these relationships
Ooh Lord.
that keep challenging us, right? Everybody who's in a relationship and who has ever been in a relationship knows the
And not
challenges.
in a relationship, throw them in there too.
And not in a relationship.
All right.
Knows the challenges. In fact, the ones who are not in a relationship may understand the challenges better than those of us who are in a relationship.
Hell no. Yeah. See what happened was I failed.
Yeah, they may know some. That's why they're not in a relationship, because they know some things that they may not want to deal with right now. So, here's the question for the night, folks. How do you handle it when someone isn't into you, or you're not into someone else?
Oh, you looking over here like me. You want to say something, girl?
Let's slow down for a second. Let's just describe not into you. What are we really talking about?
The hell is there to describe? You don't like him. Let's keep it simple.
Is that it? Don't like them?
I mean, come on, I ain't into him. I don't like him. Let's just say we dating and you want me and I'm looking at you. I don't feel a vibe from you. I'm not gonna go there. So guess what? I'm gonna probably say something early on. One thing I'll tell you all day: I like to be celebrated, not tolerated.
Right.
You might like me.
Right.
I don't feel that vibe with you.
Right.
It's gonna be, I like to say, rough. I'm gonna be nice because of the fact what I do. Don't get it twisted. Even though what I do, I'm not gonna lead you along because that's not gonna work. You looking at me like husband. I'm looking at you as a listener.
Yeah.
I want you to listen. I don't need all what you want. They come at me kind of aggressive. Sometimes I have to push people back. You know, you can't just meet me and think I'm that one and I don't feel that way. You can't push your way on me.
Right.
So at that point, I'm starting to tolerate you.
Right.
That's never good.
That's
I
never
always
good.
want to be celebrated, and I want to celebrate with somebody.
Yeah, once you start tolerating somebody, I think it's pretty much over, right?
It don't take much.
There's not much going to happen there, because you're always running from that thing that they do that aggravates you, irritates you, or whatever. I like the way you put that, Jay. You don't like them. You're not feeling their vibe. These are reasons why you're not into them. You're not feeling the vibe.
On the up front.
They're not celebrating you, and or maybe you're just tolerating them, right?
And that's on me. And again, my tolerate is I have a bigger vision.
Yeah.
So when they come to me, they have their own vision, and do it meet.
Right.
And sometimes it doesn't make good sense
Right.
to do things, but sometimes people let lust and other things carry them down a path that I've been down before.
Yeah.
So again, I gotta learn from lessons.
Yeah, and maybe we can rephrase this as this person just doesn't turn you on. Right?
Oh, they're ugly.
Listen, they just don't turn. Listen, they just don't turn you on,
Yeah.
or they have already turned you off, so to speak.
Oh, it was rude.
Right?
Disrespectful.
Yeah, they might have got rude, disrespectful.
Okay.
Maybe they don't. I don't know. Y'all don't have anything in common.
Sound like you like your enthusiasm.
Is that lack enthusiasm?
Look at him throwing
Okay.
nice words out there.
Yeah.
Lack enthusiasm.
Yeah.
I don't ever get that from him.
And so I guess the question is going to really become,
What's that?
how do you handle it when someone isn't into you or you're not into someone? I mean, I guess you're going to decide.
You move the fuck on. Like,
Yeah, you move
You
on.
move on.
And from the,
He said decide.
Let's see, wait a minute.
so if it's
Hold on.
a new acquaintance,
Right.
that's easy to do, and it should be easy to do. If you're not into them, move on, because you're wasting everybody's time.
Okay, and listen, let's put captions on this here a little bit,
Okay.
because we really talking two different worlds. It sounds like you're talking about a dating world, right? I'm not into them, right? But we need to talk about relationships and marriages and people who are engaged and people who have been together for a long time.
I gotta get
So
somebody else
when
up here.
you feel like being into them.
They have been turned off, and you haven't been into them, and they haven't been into you for a long time. So there's some
Differences.
different avenues
There's
that we need to
levels.
talk about. Now, from the dating perspective, from the early relationship, from
Right.
the young
And
relationship,
she was clear on that.
that you got to figure out, hey, they lack enthusiasm, I lack enthusiasm, they turned me off, maybe something they said, I don't like them for this, that, and the other, you're not feeling the vibe, you just kind of tolerating them.
Just don't click.
Just
Right.
don't click. Yeah, click is good. Yeah, just don't click. And those things happen, and so you're suggesting just get rid of them, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Damn, she ain't hesitating. Yes, I hate to say this. Look, she been there before. Oh, yeah. I'm
Get
down.
right over the
Yeah,
Yeah.
what's his number? I don't know. I deleted it. I just moved. I don't know. Who? Yeah. Now, this sounds cold, crap.
Yeah,
It sounds
a
a little cold.
Yeah, it
But
does.
let me tell you, when you date and you've been through some things, you learn tactics. That tactic right
You
there,
learn tactics.
that's a tactic.
And
Yeah.
red flags.
And yeah, because if you allow these things, it takes you down a dirty path. And if you dated, especially as much as I have, and you keep going down dead end road, your ass didn't learn no lessons.
Maybe.
No. Ain't no maybe to it. Because if a person leads you right back to where you didn't want to be, you didn't learn. Because he allows you to have a free mind. Do you learn with it? Do you learn through your experience? That's why we keep repeating.
But
It's called bad habits.
as much as we learn,
Hmm?
as much as we have learned,
Hmm?
we can't foresee the future. We don't know this new person that's in our life. We don't know if they're going to take us down the same avenue. We don't know if do I keep attracting do women? Do you keep attracting men who are aggressive or they like put your hands on? Or do you keep attracting men who are players and always like to be out in the street? Or do you keep attracting men who's just not willing to commit and don't like relationships? And I mean, there's probably a pattern there somewhere.
It could be.
Yeah.
If you don't apply lesson learned, then it is.
Well, you're going to apply
But if you
lesson
learn
learned.
from the experience, then you'll decide differently.
You'll
the
decide-
next time an option is made available.
Yeah, you'll decide differently and you'll decide sooner.
And also you can
Right.
check yourself. Because remember,
Yeah, it's
you
all about
had a
yourself.
role in that too.
Yeah.
So if you got played, you also was played. You was
Yeah.
playing.
But
So you got to understand where everything revolved to. Self-evaluate. And then when you're dealing with somebody else, it's not about that person. It's about me. So when you're talking to me a certain way, that's not what I like. Now it's based off of me. No more of the experience. Just I learned from that. Now it's
Right.
me. See, that's the problem. People relate it right back to the other person. To me, you're reflecting. What about you? If you should be talking to me from you. If you keep telling me about what somebody else did, then you still stuck on them. I would tell you what I like, and it ain't gonna be because of what somebody else did for me. It's what I like. It comes from me. Center. Understand a person that speaks from center, not from around. I don't need nobody around me telling me, well, my girlfriend said, or that last guy did
Right,
this to me.
right.
It's all about them. It's never about you. So I'm starting to wonder about you. Is there anything in there that I'm dealing with because I don't hear?
Well, let's go to the root of the problem. And you said it best. Why do I keep attracting these same type of people?
Oh, that's okay.
So now, instead of being concerned, well, that person was like this and this person was like this. Well, okay, who's the magnet and who is the glue?
Well, they still
It's hard.
so I
It's
guess
hard to
I'm
figure
back.
out the magnet, though. It's hard to figure out the magnet, and we're gonna touch really a lot on the subject itself. But I like where we're going right
I
here.
do too.
Yeah.
Because I love some attraction.
Yeah. I love it. I'm losing my train of thought.
Okay, my bad. You know, I get sexual there, Crab. I get sexual there. Come on. What?
Stop talking about
Man,
sex, man.
damn it. Ain't never had no fun up here.
And banned from this?
Huh? No.
No, girl, not with me. No. It's all on the table.
Yeah, I'm totally
It's the
lost
round
now.
table.
I had a chance to go back, but I can't go back.
I tried to get you to recruit.
Tell me what you were just talking about.
I
This is
forgot.
important. Oh.
See, if you was on the
No,
round
it's
table.
you. You keep coming up with 5.
Because I'm a magnet.
No.
I like to
Right.
attract some things.
Right.
I like to do some things.
Identifying the type of people you keep attracting
Mhm.
and how to correct that within yourself
Mhm.
to be able to attract the type of person that you want and really who you are.
Right, and I was suggesting that is a hard one to do, because if I like very decisive women, and I
Mhm.
like women who are go-getters and strong, then I just don't know how that equation's gonna turn out. But I know I attracted a strong person, a strong woman, and that's what I like. I like a strong person. I don't like a weak person, a person who's sitting on the sideline all the time and waiting for me to do everything and make all the decisions. I like a person to get involved and make something happen, be aggressive about life. And so I keep attracting these aggressive women, but listen, the aggressiveness is good when it's going that direction.
All right.
But when it's coming back this direction, it's not so nice, right? And so, you still don't know how that's going to play itself out,
Can I tell you a secret?
Yeah, go ahead.
Back when I was younger, I'm talking about younger days. Younger days.
Your backslide days.
Hell, girl, I'm backsliding now. Been sliding for a long time. Well, my back should be scarred by now. I'm just trying to tell you. Yeah. Them days, that day anyway. Going way back, y'all. Way back. When you was in the club. Young days, in the club. I noticed no matter what I did, I attracted the big one. If me and my boys go, and we sat at the table, and they was like, yo, man, look at them girls over there. Oh, yo, we gonna go holler, right? If we go over there and holler, the big one always found their way next to me. Now, I don't know what the hell that was. I was skinny back then. I was probably wearing like a 30. I was no way skinny guy.
Right.
And I got this big old girl. What the hell I'm gonna do with that?
Right.
All this, and I'm this little person.
Right.
I learned how to do some things to tell you, don't nothing against none of the big girls. Girl, hey, I attracted them then. I learned. Ain't nothing wrong. I love
You
y'all.
attracted
Anyway,
them, huh?
well, my attracting them, that is not my preference. I did that. I want to do some other things, but bottom line, that was my magnet. That was what it was. So it got to a point. My boy's like, you go. I already know who coming over here, bro. I got to a point. I knew. Then it was not that it wasn't attracting. It's just the bigger ones were just attracting me because I was skinny. And I don't know, because back then I had Jericho too, little skinny, little try to be that Michael Jackson,
Yeah.
Penny Loafers and all that. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm telling too much.
Yeah.
Because I know y'all couldn't imagine this shit, but it's real. I
Yeah.
couldn't make this up if I wanted to.
Yeah.
So now you get older and you be like, what do you attract? And you know what, and that's what I love about what y'all was talking about. I know what I attract, but even though I attract it, I changed my attraction by understanding me.
Yes, that's a great
Because
point.
that's what they see you.
Yes.
So again, if you want to know, understand self.
Yes.
But then again, see who comes to you. And then talk to them.
Okay.
I'm just saying, I'm just trying to help people out because some people don't know what they attract and why. At least I figured it out. That's all I can.
Yeah. It's hard. That's a hard one to do. This is what I like, and when I go for that kind of person, this is kind of what I get. But I'm gonna have to settle for this kind of person because they might not end up like this other person. I mean, it's kind of relative. I've gotten to where now, man, it really is gonna take some supernatural activity in order to get a relationship. You just don't come into meeting somebody and start dating and hanging out. You know what I'm saying? You need the Lord to guide you because this person could possibly take you down a pathway. 3-5 years later, you dealing with some real bullshit nonsense, and the Lord would have said, "Well, now all you had to do was ask me. All you had to do was ask me about the future of this relationship, and I'd have told you." But you didn't use the power, and so now you misled for 4 or 5 years, and now you're all backed up with, resentment and pains and struggles and resentments, etc., etc. So, it's difficult. I'd say it's very difficult to change up. But, and I like that segment. We're gonna have to go ahead and go to another break. And then we're going to come back and continue our dialogue. I think we got Brother Jeffrey in the house tonight.
Yes.
And so we're going to get an opportunity to hear, ladies and gentlemen,
Hope you had a good day.
from the good Reverend Dr. Jeffrey. I'm hoping he had a good day as well.
You too.
Hope you folks are enjoying the show. We're going to take this break.
I was looking at it.
We'll be right back for more Bar Talk with Jay.
Back with Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome back.
Man, if y'all like that segment, only thing I can tell you is I hope this man had a good day that I'm about to bring on. I got my man Jeffrey. How you doing tonight, big baby?
Brother Jay, how's it going on today, sir?
Just kind of nervous until I find out your day. Uh-huh.
Brother Crab, how you hanging in there, brother?
Hey man, doing quite well, bro. Doing quite well, man. How are you doing tonight, man?
Oh, man, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. My granddaughter said, Granddad, I miss you, and she gave me some sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Talked to my mama loves me, my daughter loves me, my son loves me, my whole family loves me. But in spite of all of that, you know what time it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's time for you to close your mouth and listen. You ask me some questions, I give you some answers from a man's point of view. Now, I got one reason for the habitually single woman and one reason for the habitually single man as to why you might be single. But before we get into that, here is my disclaimer.
Okay.
Now, see, what I'm going to talk about might not apply to you. And if it doesn't apply to you, I don't want you to put your foot up in the shoe. But if it does apply to you, I want you to put both feet in both shoes and walk around in it. Because you're about to learn something tonight. Ladies, y'all go first.
Okay.
All right, ladies. Some of y'all single simply because you are a sellout. I want you to understand me. See, you have bought into the notion that black men hate black women. See, you get around your girls and you call them together and y'all make an amen choir. And then y'all start singing about how black men hate this. And how black men treat black women like white men treat black men. Then y'all say stuff like, oh, I'm so sick of these men, they don't do nothing, they just running the mouth, popping off at the gums. But what you forgetting is that you are manifesting your own destiny.
Yes.
You wonder why you keep attracting these type of men? Because you keep thinking about these type of men. What you have to recognize is that oftentimes the faults that we find in others dwell within ourselves. So I just want to know that you got a blonde wig in your hair repertoire. I just want to know now if you're doing things to kind of lighten your skin up a little bit. I'm just asking because if you are doing those types of things, then you are attracting the type of negativity that dwells within you. So all I want you to do, ladies, is to put in that type of work that will build you up from the inside. So even if a man who doesn't like black women encounters you, it ain't no big deal. Because it doesn't bother you. It doesn't vibrate with you. It doesn't resonate with your spirit. You can walk on about your day. But you keep on thinking that black men just hate women. Or black women specifically. Keep attracting those type of men. And keep on attracting that singlehood.
I like, man. I like.
Had a rough day at work, eh, Jeffrey?
Keep on attracting that singlehood, huh? Sell out, huh? You know, I haven't been privy to many of those conversations. Many years ago, I used to hear those kinds of things, but I would imagine it still exists. And we're still getting beat up by people who might not understand, those of us who might be some kind of worthy of the world. You know what I mean? We're far from righteous and whole and complete, but we know how to treat women. And we know how to get life done, and we know how to make things happen, and so they just can't see that, and we got to be okay with that. For those who see the world that way,
They gonna learn tonight.
they gonna learn tonight.
tonight.
All right, brother Jeffrey, back to you.
All right, fellas, don't think I'm letting y'all off the hook. Fellas, you are next. All right, fellas, some of y'all are single simply because you broke as hell. I need you to understand me. See, I'm not talking about on the monetary front. I'm talking about on the emotional front.
Okay.
See, you can't talk to a woman who's financially stable because you are financially questionable. You can't talk to a grown woman because your maturity is questionable. You worry so much about how much a woman makes because deep down you don't think you can do the types of things that will keep her attention. And you think that way because you're broke. But if you take your time, fellas, to invest in emotional repair and emotional well-being, what you will recognize is that everything you were born with is enough to make a way, to build something that will manifest into good health, stability, growth, and increase. And when you get that type of recognition from within, well, you are wealthy. And when you're wealthy like that, you come to recognize that men who have wealth, they don't worry about anybody else's wealth because they are emotionally wealthy. But you're coming up short in a whole lot of categories. And you're single, with your broke ass.
Hey Jeffrey, man, next time you have a date, this goddamn man, holler at your boy.
Yeah, man.
I know you need a little hug or something, bro.
Postpone you the next week or so, or put you 20 minutes later in the segment or something.
Jesus.
Pray for you or something, you know. But listen, I love this one. I love this one. This is so near and dear to my heart. How do you fix a broken person? How does a broken person fix themselves emotionally? He talked about emotional repair and emotional well-being. He talked about having an inward recognition of a good, true, and positive self. You can't have a love relationship if you're broke on the inside. If you don't have any love to give, if you're not whole and complete, right? You know, if people don't buy a car, they don't buy pieces of cars. You know, they buy the car, right? They buy the whole thing. They want the wheels and the radio and the air conditioning and the nice comfortable seats, and they want the space. They want all of it, and you know, you ain't gonna get down the road with 3 wheels, right? Especially emotionally, man, and that's a big one. And I'm working on some avenues to try to help folks with that. But I think Brother Jeffrey bringing it to the table just reminds us, fellas, that there's a lot of work that needs to be done inwardly.
Yes.
In order to maintain strong relationships. And that leads to having good relationships with women and healthy families and growing our communities, which is what Jeffrey always talks about. So unless you guys got something else.
No, we got that good Jeffrey because he slapped the taste out of hat.
All right, we'll hand it back to you, Brother Jeffrey.
All right, now, Brother Kraft, I had a different ending, but I want to adjust it to politely disagree with what you said. See, I'm going to use your analogy. You said people, when they buy a car, they want the whole car, the air conditioning and things like that. Now, here's where I'm going to deviate from that standpoint, using the same analogy.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I need you to understand about yourself. You are good enough that you can buy a car with no engine. You have the resources within you to find the right type of engine and insert that into that car, have it installed, and it will be the best damn car because you did the work. I want you to understand, it's easy to fix yourself emotionally. It is also easy not to do the work. So when something is easy to do, it's just as easy not to do. So I don't want anyone to overcomplicate this. Now, all it takes is the desire to start. You can go buy a car with no doors on it and get some doors that are mixed match and take it to Mako and get it painted, and nobody will ever know. Your past are those doors that you're not embracing and putting on that car and doing the work to make them blend in with the whole you. When you put your past in the whole you and you embrace it and you accept it, you got a good-ass car. I don't care what nobody else's car looks like. That's the car that you built. And when you're proud of what you've done for yourself, no person can take that type of wealth from you. And when we get to that point where our men are happy with who we are and how we look, and our women are just self-fulfilled with the texture of their hair, the fullness of the lips, and the courage of their body, Lord Jesus. When we put that together, and we raise healthy, whole children, ain't a damn thing nobody outside our community can do to stop us. And that's all I got on that.
That's all. Jeffrey for president. Write him in. November. Come on.
Yes.
Clap it.
You know, brother.
Do it.
Brother Jeffrey, I receive your challenge, and you know, one of the things that I'm continuing to harp on is seeing ourselves as happy. What's the words you use? Happy with who we are.
Mm.
I mean, that is our challenge as leaders, to develop the world in this way and to be able to plant messages, because there's so many people lost, you know, and not happy with who they are. And that's what's causing so much degradation in the world, is that people are diminishing their spirits. They're diminishing their sense of self. And we have to continue to find a way to deliver the right messages to inspire and uplift these people and give them an opportunity to see themselves, to be happy, and to recognize that they're happy in their lives and their world. I think there's a ton of work to be done, but that is certainly our challenge for the future. With that, Brother Jeffrey, I'm going to just, if you don't mind, I just want to ask a quick question about tonight's topic and let you chime in. How do you handle it when someone isn't into you or you're not into someone else?
When someone isn't into me, I understand, I keep it pushing. Because I'm not for every woman that I meet. And every woman that I meet is not for me. So it just is what it is. I don't care how fine she is. If she doesn't have the right type of disposition in her femininity, well, she can't get this work. I'm just not going to give you the work for the pleasure of giving you the work. I'm going to invest something in you that's going to be unbreakable and pretty difficult to get away from. I need you to understand me, ladies, what I'm saying here. But the bottom line of it is, for me, if I'm not for you and you're not for me, it's all good. Next.
Right.
Now see, if I said that, y'all call me a hoe.
Okay, watch this.
That's what I'm saying. See, y'all are so hypocritical.
We sure.
I am not liking this.
We sure.
Oh, he said, it's Jeffrey.
Yeah.
But I said, J-O.
See, this is what character makes all the difference, right?
Oh, I don't got no goddamn character. This is bull. You hear this? Oh, it character. See, Jeffrey, you can say it. I can't.
No, Jeffrey come from family and loving relationships.
I come from family.
No, you come
I
from...
make them. I got 5 kids. I came from making love. I had to make love to make them 5. Well, I didn't have to make love. I did that. Could have been quick. Anyway, I made 5. Yeah. I got 5 on
Calm
me.
down.
Yeah, listen, love your answer, love your approach. Thank you so much, Brother Jeffrey, for all that you bring to the table, my friend. Any parting words for us as we get out of here?
Oh man, you know, I'm just looking forward to good things continuing to happen for everybody in the community. We coming around the curve, and I'm seeing some awesome stuff that's coming to the forefront right now, not 10 years from now, but right now. I'm happy to be a part of it. That's all I got, brother.
All right. Thank you again, man, and hopefully we'll have you here next week with us.
All right, man. We'll check it out.
Okay, brother. All right, take care now. All right, and we have just heard from the good Reverend Dr. Jeffrey, and it is time for us to take our next break. So if you folks will stay tuned, we're going to be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay.
You gotta let them know, Craig.
What's that?
This break, we about to change the game.
Yeah,
This is all about Minecraft.
Oh, is this the break we going in?
This
Okay.
that 8 o'clock, baby.
Okay.
This is you.
Okay.
People might not understand. Bar Talk with Jay, we are to pour it out, but I am about mental healing. And that's why my man Craft got a special segment that we're gonna start adding into this show, and we're gonna start healing. It's not just about talking it, it's about repairing it.
Yes.
And that's why this show leads you right into what you do.
Yes, and if I can set this clip up just
Go
for a
ahead.
moment.
Talk about it.
I've created this organization called Minecraft, and what we're basically doing is teaching people how to think and how to develop your thought processes and how to have a new perspective on life, and really how to focus your mind and attention on the things that produce fruit in your life, and get your mind off the stuff that doesn't produce fruit. So I created this particular talk. This is Love, see?
See?
Yeah, okay. So this particular one is really kind of a prayer of love, a prayer for love. And what I wanted to achieve in this was, by the end of this program, I want you to be able to be a little clearer about how you ask for love. And if you're a little clearer about how you ask for love, you will probably be a little clearer about how you ask for money, and how you ask for opportunity, and you'll be a little clearer about how you ask for your body to heal that day, or your bones, or your mind, or the right job, or the right career. Remember I talked about praying specifically? Tonight, this prayer is about helping you understand how to ask for love. I hope you enjoy it. I'm really dove in. I'm really into this process of developing great material. And I think I nailed it a little bit on this one, if you really understand the point. So thank you folks for listening. We're going to be right back. More Bar Talk with Jay.
Jay.
Welcome back.
Man,
Okay.
Jeffrey, I keep telling y'all gotta watch what kind of day he have. I don't know what he been doing lately. I think the pandemic is getting to him, but he wakes you up each and every time. That's one of the things I enjoy about him and why I bring him on. One of the things I want to do is shake you up and make you to be the best person you can be.
Yeah.
So thank you for doing that,
I
Jeffrey.
remember the first time I heard Jeffrey in the studio with you on the Love station.
Mm-hmm.
And he was in the studio with us that night. And he said, I just want you to close your mouth and listen. And all the women in the room like,
What? Oh, it was hot.
yeah, they was
Man,
hot.
Jeffrey shook so many people up.
Yeah, he did. And he's laid off us a little bit. You know, he used to give 3 reasons why the women and 3 reasons why the men, single. But he really puts it out there, man. We really appreciate Brother Jeffrey.
You're a good dude.
Yeah. Welcome back to Bar Talk with Jay, and we are talking tonight about how do you handle it when someone isn't into you or you're not into someone.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess one of the things that I think, we haven't talked about the relationship side of the equation, because you can't just quit somebody because the enthusiasm's not there.
You
right?
can't?
You can't. Well, you can. But
Oh, okay.
I think what you'll be doing
That
is
wouldn't be no
you'll be
good.
bouncing around all the time.
That's why I haven't seen him.
And basically what that means is you would be running from your problems every time.
I've done that a whole lot.
Yeah, and maybe that worked out for you.
No, it didn't. Well, my ass had to slow down. I had problems, Kraft. I had problems.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Maybe I think I had problems. You had problems.
I still got them.
Yeah, okay.
I be using you for therapy. I mean,
You
but
making
see,
me lose my train of thought.
I'm not bad, but I've been trying to tell you. People do it. People bounce around, and that's one of the reasons why. Everybody don't recognize what goes on. The saddest thing is you won't always say it. One of the strongest things you can ever do is admit. You would never change if you never admit. My biggest fear was letting somebody else know a failure. It's not a failure once you learn a lesson. My whole thing is getting past it. Most people are so stuck on themselves, I would never let a person know my weakest. Well, that's because you keep it. That's what's making your armor so weak. My whole thing is I got past it. It only strengthened me. At that point, no matter how you threw it at me, it didn't hurt me. It only hurted me when I was scared of it. I was scared for you to know it. Now that I understand it, you can't come at me with me. How you gonna do this when I did the pain?
Right.
I led that mission that failed. I led a world of knowing that I was asleep. When I woke, I changed. You didn't. So I love it when somebody bring up my past. I love it when somebody tell me some things that I know I changed. Because where you were and where you remember is not where I'm at. And that's how you can conflict people to understand change. Because you're going to be stuck somewhere where I'm not. And that's why I don't hate. I participate. I try to get somebody to see something different when they keep seeing the same. I'm not always going to be the same. And I can't always relate. But my whole thing is be honest. I don't have to lie. I don't have to tell false narratives because I want to look like something that I'm not. I can just be honest and I can be true.
Okay.
And that's just me. I can't say for anybody else because everybody do not want somebody to understand their pain. They don't want nobody to know the real them. I can't help them. I can only help people through me.
Now you said something that was that that struck a chord with me.
What's that?
And that is the essence of growing apart. We talk about how easy it is to identify someone's not into you, you're not into them when you're on the dating scene. But let's talk about these long-term, committed relationships, marriages, cohabitating situations, situationships. What happens, people grow apart. And so, going back to what you said, God being in the mix, because there's some relationships he didn't give the green light, which makes it a problem, which means you grow apart and then one other person just isn't into that person anymore.
Right.
So there are tons. I mean, this is reality, and I really do believe COVID-19, Corona, in this lockdown situation where divorce rates are rising or have spiked, and that's because now people were forced to come to the reality and the truth that I'm just not that into you.
Yeah.
I've been at work all day going back and forth, but now that I'm in your face,
yeah. And listen, if this hadn't came about, if the COVID-19 hadn't came about like this, we might have got an extra 8-10 years, and we might have made it. If we wasn't forced to stay together during COVID.
My job kept us together. My job it wasn't you, it was my job. They fighting right now. Them dang old kids killing me. I gotta go.
Yeah. Growing apart, I think that's a great way to encapsulate this discussion
Go for it.
for relationships. Yeah, people do grow apart, and situations like COVID will force you to face your realities.
Right.
But if you didn't have COVID-19, let's talk about, hey, what are some things that causes you to grow apart? I think the number one thing that causes a couple to grow apart is that there are no common goals. There's no common purpose. You're doing your thing, you're doing your thing. Oftentimes those relationships, I don't see them up close, but from afar it looks like, they don't even, have family events and celebrate the holidays together in a big way. They don't plan date nights. They don't watch movies together. They don't, bring books or articles and stuff for each other to read. And, they just don't have any commonality.
We are talking about in a relationship, right?
Relationship.
Okay.
Is
I
that
can't
different
relate
from
for damn over here. But that's okay. I got you.
Yeah.
That's why I ain't saying that. I ain't good at that. Just keep going.
You just blew my train of thought again, man.
Yeah, my bad. I got problems over here. Because you be saying stuff and I be trying to find a relate. Because remember, when you don't get into all that. Remember, I was in a long-term marriage. I understand.
And what
but when I got out,
in the marriage.
So what caused you to grow apart?
me, my damn ego. I done told you. I done said this before. I'm gonna tell it again. When I was in that, she had my back. A person that I would tell you to fight with me, for me. But when I got to a point in my job and I kept pressing up and forward and I started moving up, I forgot who I was riding with. So as I rose up, I forgot my partner. And I got up there and I thought it was all me. So when I got home and she started giving me her problems, I didn't want to hear her. It was all about me. So I caused my own demise. Okay. When I took my ego and I started saying, why are you complaining when all this money is made by me? You the one got the low paying job. You choose this. So I'm pushing her to do great. But the bottom line is, I did this because of the wrong reason.
Okay.
I made a monster.
Okay.
Now,
that's a great example for our topic tonight. What would you have done differently, Jay?
I would have stopped and got off my high horse and realized she had me. And at that point, we can grow back together.
How?
I separated.
What did you do?
I separated and not just been me. It was all about me. I made it about me. I forgot about her. How you gonna come home and you fought all day and then you gonna fight with the person that ain't trying to fight with you? She fought for you. I'm the one that stayed with them kids. And my kids bad as hell. So you understand I should have gave a little bit of sympathy.
Yeah. Describe what you would do differently.
What I would have done differently.
You would have kept your mouth shut when she came home?
No, when I came home, I would have gave her my day-to-day and my hells. I would have took time to hear her. And that way I can understand her. You don't talk over a person, you listen. And then when you receive, you can relate. I stopped receiving. I started saying, I ain't trying to get nothing. I'm just trying to be, hey, you deal with them. You know they bad, they're all right. But look what I had to deal with. So I excluded everything that she said.
Yeah.
It was never more about her, it's about me.
And listen to this, just to take the conversation a little bit deeper, right? That they have a disagreement, and he comes home in a certain way. He don't want to hear all this. He don't want to hear all that. And then very shortly, she stops trying. She stops saying, well, he ain't gonna listen to me. He ain't gonna do nothing but gripe, bitch. He gonna run from the argument. He ain't gonna talk to me. He gonna start talking nonsense or whatever the case may be. Now she stops trying. That is a part of the growing apart, right? That's a major part of the growing apart, because now we can't talk on the same level anymore. I've given up where we were, and now I'm resting on a place that is not as strong, because now I can't communicate with you. Let me just be quiet. Let me just not express my own opinion. Let me just not say what I want to say and how I feel.
Right.
And I think this is one of the dangerous places of relationships, is where you get to a place where you stop talking, where you say, hey, I'm not gonna say what I feel anymore.
Now, hold on,
right?
hold
and
on.
I know it can become redundant, and you love to call it bitching.
No, ain't no bitching. I'm just saying, she ain't never stopped talking. That ain't never happened. I told you, I came in, I tried to dick. She ain't never, you ain't stopping no black woman door. I'm just telling you, what it is I stopped listening. It went back to me. She ain't never, even when she was mad at me, she still spoke her mind. My black ass didn't listen.
Yeah, and in that case, but I would imagine some more time, people shut down. If I'm pouring out and you ain't feeling me, you ain't feeling what I'm saying to you.
If I'm pouring out, I'm engaged.
Right.
But when a woman stops talking,
She ain't engaged.
She ain't engaged.
That means she's not into you.
Yeah. I met a many of them though who are so full of themselves that they just couldn't quite come back to reality, because it wasn't me making you mad, it was you making you mad, right?
Yeah.
Now I have an opinion, and just because I have an opinion don't mean I'm mashing on you or
Right.
anything, So you get, that's a fine line, when you get to a place where you stop wanting to communicate, that is going to continue to grow you apart, because now you're harboring all of these little things. What they said to you in the argument last week, how they treated you when it was time for your family reunion, or how they handled your birthday, you didn't like that, or there's all these different occasions. They spending their money on what they want and not helping buy the groceries, and and then all of a sudden the growing apart starts. The growing apart starts, and I think what oftentimes happens is as you start to grow apart, you start to enjoy blank moments. You start to enjoy blank moments, like you just sit in the living room and watch a movie together and you won't talk. You see couples all the time at restaurants, married couples, eating, not talking to each other at all. On the phone, I'm talking about not looking each other's eyes, not communicating at all. And so I know it's prevalent because I see it all the time. And maybe they just enjoy just being together and not necessarily talking anymore, but I would imagine they're just not talking about common things anymore.
So how do, from the relationship, marriage, cohabitating, how do people handle, or how should it be handled, when two people realize we live together and I'm just not into you? Or one's into one person and the other isn't? What's that advice that we can say from, I'm trying to find the silver lining on this one because I like to do that.
Okay.
But how can we help those in that situation to move on? Because to stay with somebody that either you're not into or they're not into you, whatever the situation is, it's trouble. It is a demise. It is a slow death, killing me softly, whatever other sad song you put on it.
Yes. And I would say the first thing that we should all aspire to is to ask for help. Like, you just don't know what you don't know. Sometimes you're in the middle of this crappy relationship and you ain't even woke up to realize that it's a crappy relationship. And the first time that you realize that it's a crappy relationship, you may look over your shoulder and say, damn, we've been operating like this for years. I've been in a crappy relationship for years. And just because you wake up doesn't mean your significant other wakes up. And so now it's going to require some engagement. And, there may be some soft ways, some detached ways to start sending messages. You know that to have the conversation is going to be an argument.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Maybe you send a letter, maybe you go out and buy a book and say, honey, we both going to read this book and let's see if we can try to work on our relationship. Or you might just sit them down and say, listen, I'm unhappy. I love you and I want to be happy, but if we can't be happy, then we need to figure out something else. Sometimes it just comes down to that, right? But the most important thing in that entire equation is intention and initiative.
Yes.
Right? And it may not be easy to bring up that you may have good intentions, but you may not know how to say it. You may, you may really want a change in your marriage, in your relationship, but you just don't know how to communicate it anymore because they shut down, or you shut them down. You've been in this malnourished relationship for so long, you don't even know how to attempt to nourish yourself, much less the relationship. And that's a very dark place to be in, because when you go through a divorce or a major breakup with somebody you've been through for a long time, there's a lot to consider. You don't just get up and walk out. It's everything. You share a home, you share life with bills, expenses, family. I know your family, you're my family. We take trips together. We got some investments, or we bought some things and stuff together. The relationship, the idea of relationship is worth fighting for. And let me just, maybe we just need to take a break on that one, because the relationship is worth fighting for, but you've had so much challenge, so much breakdown, so much pain, so much disconnection, so many problems that you wonder if it can even be salvaged with this person. And sometimes cutting your losses might be the right thing to do, but again, you just don't want to get up and walk out. So I want to talk more about what we can do. I think what we just talked about was the inner dialogue and how you were going to initiate it, but there may be some other things, and we want to cover that. So,
all right, can I play
tuned?
around? I want to have some fun too.
We're going to come right back to that.
What I got some more fun?
Yeah.
Y'all always be cutting me out my fun. I can't talk right, can't do right.
Yeah.
Jay can't do nothing right.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go to break.
Yeah, let's take a break, and we're going to let you say your piece, Jay.
All right.
We'll be right back, folks, right after this.
I don't take receipts.
Welcome back.
Well, Bar Talk with Jay. Man, I'm gonna tell you, man, we've been going hardcore in tonight.
Yeah.
Hope we didn't offend anybody, and I hope y'all understand. This is gonna be from a lot of different points of view. And I don't know where you stand. That's why we hit so many different ones. Because again, all I want to make sure is we pour out to have a better understanding of what we pouring out. Because again, it's not about the alcohol, it's about you.
Yeah.
This is how we change the game. This is the round table. Let's make this happen.
Yeah.
Bar Talk with Jay.
That's exactly right. And somebody's going to be, listening to this program who is in a relationship, and you recognize that you've grown apart.
Mm-hmm.
And, there are many reasons why you may have grown apart. We covered a few of those. But if you're dedicated to the relationship, how do you bring it back together? How do you stop it from growing apart?
I would have had said some of the things I did to grow it apart. One of the things I had to recognize is I was at fault. When I wasn't listening, I was hearing. Please understand, a strong person is going to speak. You cannot hush them up.
You cannot hush them up.
I said she just needed, she bitching.
Right.
Okay, that's what a lot of people say. But when you get past yourself and you start hearing what the person so-called is bitching, I start realizing it wasn't all her. A lot of that was me. She spoke real words shortly. Even when she started getting disengaged, she was telling me. I just wasn't listening. I just called it bitching. So what I
Yeah.
did is I calmed down. And I said, you know something? When I go home today, I'm gonna have a different attitude.
There you go.
I'm not gonna go in there and I'm not gonna prance on her or lean on her. I'm just gonna go in there and just be humble.
Yes.
Almost like I used to do way back in the day before I ever thought about what I was doing at that time.
Yes.
So I came in, I was humble, and I ain't say anything. And she looked at me like I was crazy. Because she was so she was conditioned. That I did. That I was, so what, you ain't had no day at all? Let me know how I lead in. Oh yeah, bro, they throw daggers on me. I was like, it's not about my day of work no more. What's going on with you? Oh, now you care. Oh, don't expect a warm fuzziness, bro.
It's not gonna be no
Because
warm
you
fuzziness.
gave her hell for a
That's a
long
great
time.
Listen,
That's a great point.
when you make the shift, it's not going to be an easy
Don't look
shift.
for it, because I would give you a false narrative. I wouldn't give you truth if I told you anything different.
They're gonna give you attitude.
She gonna give you attitude because you gave it to her for so long. So you gotta be humble to eat humble pie. And I ain't gonna lie, it's hard when you call yourself this ego guy. Well, guess what? That ego was built up with her. You took it upon this other level to take it without. So what I did is I said, let me shut up. And I ate it. Now when she gave it back to me, she actually got quiet. Because she was surprised I took it.
She was surprised you took it.
So as
And
I
she
took
saw.
it,
She saw. Listen, that was the first time that she saw the change.
that is correct. And then she
for-
wanted to do more.
because you said all the while, you know, we was going at it, and I was hearing what she was saying, but I was still going back at her. So you never let her know that she was heard.
Correct.
And now here is the first opportunity for her to feel heard and understood, at least listened to, right? You may totally disagree. And this is a part of the attitude change. This is what we're talking about. There needs to be an attitude change right now to stop the growing apart.
Right.
Okay? And that may be letting some old stuff go. That may be just trying to start anew and renewing your spirit, renewing yourself. Going in with a whole different attitude has got to be the first piece of the puzzle, right? And so you go in saying, tonight, we're not going to argue. Tonight, I'm going to listen. It can be very troubling
Yes.
when you make, it took you a month to make the decision that you were going to get yourself out of the way. And then, so you've been fighting with this decision to be quiet for a little while, and then the day that you decide that, okay, this is the day I'm going to be quiet, and you be quiet, and then you got to hear a bunch of flack.
Oh, yes.
That's not easy. That's not, you be like, wait a minute, I'm trying here to be quiet, and you going off, you
Giving you the business,
give
right?
you the business. Yeah, that means you're going to have to, and maybe the nature of this show is to just tell people that you're going to have exceptional, a tremendous amount, extraordinary patience
Oh, yes.
when you start creating this change.
And then sometimes it's too late.
Sometimes it's too late.
Sometimes a
Yeah.
person has taken on so much. They've done their therapy. They've gone with themselves to identify what they did and did not do, what they will further take or not take in their whole spiritual journey. And they may actually wake up and say, oh, that's lovely.
Yep.
You know, I'm tired. So at what point, when you're not into somebody, we're talking marriages, committed relationships, where you say enough is enough?
Yeah, listen, I recall.
Let me answer that one because I like that one.
I got a story to tell. Go ahead.
See? Because I was going to tell her on that one right there. When I told you I wanted to be humble and I was going to take it, when she don't give it back, that's when she does. Because remember, I gave her hell on the upfront. I finally felt like I want to give it to her where I'm going to let her talk and she ain't got nothing to say. That's when you got to realize you came too late. And again, that's a humbleness in itself
It's a humbling
because
spirit.
she ain't fighting you.
But you can open her up, but it's gonna take patience.
Well, I will tell you, she done. I don't think you're gonna open up a done.
Yeah, I
But remember
wonder-
when I said
I
too
wonder-
late.
I wonder how many relationships get to the brink of the cliff and somehow find their way back. I wonder how often does that happen? Because we do know for a fact
What's that?
That people who have 30, 40, 50-year relationships, they spent many of those years mad with each other. Sometimes they slept in different rooms and didn't talk, and they wouldn't take travel together, and they didn't eat dinner together. They spent a considerable amount of time apart, even though they were in the marriage and in the relationship. And, you know, they'll tell you that, hey, you know, 20, 25 years, I wasn't no good, you know, I was treating her wrong, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. And now we have the greatest relationship ever. We got the best relationship ever. I can't see life without this person. You know, at that point, you know, something obviously in the equation changed. But I recall my grandfather was a mover.
Mm-hmm.
He spent a lot of time outside of the house, and might be gone 2-3 days at a time sometimes. And my grandmother, obviously, she didn't like it. I didn't think she didn't, you know, my notion was that she didn't like it. It may have given her space.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because she was able to keep the home exactly like she wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
She raised them boys, and she wouldn't
Now
worry
we're
about
down
nothing
right with
but
you.
she wouldn't worry about nothing but Desi. His name was Desi, right? Desi Crap.
Desi.
I didn't want nothing but Desi to bring that check home, and he brought that check home. I could take care of my business.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched the evolution of her. When she was in her younger years, I recall her in her younger years getting in the car, going to find him, and looking for him, and sending messages, and sending the boys out to go get him, and where's he at, and what's he doing. And then, you know, here, you know, 10, 15, 20 years later, whenever that time was, I was able to see that she stopped caring. And she really wasn't concerned, you know. She asked, I remember her asking the question, so, when you coming home? We doing something this weekend? You gonna be here? All right, if you're gonna be here, that's okay. We'll figure it out, whatever, right? And so she was gone. I also saw the transition as his health and his age started to diminish.
Mm-hmm.
He started spending more time at home.
Exactly.
And for a while, I mean, he recognized that he had done wrong, and he was flat out kissing my grandmother's ass. I mean, he was chasing behind her with what you need, baby, anything I can do for you, da-da-da-da-da-da. I guess she couldn't get off, she couldn't get that attitude out of her, you know? And so ultimately, they grew into the warm, loving, beautiful, healthy relationship that they should have in their years. But I think every couple, yeah, we talked about
You set it up right.
every couple.
I sure would.
Every couple that goes through that 30, 40, 50-year relationship, they all will tell you those stories. They'll tell you, oh yeah, he was cheating and I left him and we was gone. I was gone a year, 2 years. We didn't get a divorce, but then we came back together. And you know that you can overcome. You can overcome the growing apart. And I think that's the moral of the story here, is that you can. But if in fact it is too late, then we have to have the conversation that we had last week. Enough is enough is enough. And now it's time for me to move on. When you are living with a person 20, 30, 40 years, you share so much that potentially leaving them might put you in an adverse position for the rest of your life. And so maybe you can change your mind and somehow stay there.
Flip side,
What's that?
staying with them may have an adverse effect on the rest of your life.
It very well could. It very well could, if you allow it. If you allow it. I'm telling you, I've just seen a few relationships where, you know, the woman just kind of turned around. She wasn't sweating the husband at all. She was doing her thing. She was traveling. She was hanging out with friends. She would go to church. You know, hey, you stay in the bed, you do your thing. But she was going on with her life, and she found joy in that space. And that's the point, is that I've spent 20 years being taken care of by this person, and now I just gonna leave and try to take care of myself. Well, it might just be better for me to find a way to take care of myself right here. He's not a bad person. I just don't like some things he do. I didn't like some things, the way he acted. So I'm, he's not my husband. He's my husband, but he's just more of a good friend now. You know, I can talk to him about anything. I can bring in my problem, but I ain't getting no love out of him. He ain't gonna probably be faithful to me. He wasn't ever good with money, but he sure took good care of our kids. He sure took good care of the yard and making sure the house was clean. You know, you know, everybody's going to have their baggage. Everybody's going to have their setback, the thing that they don't bring to the table. But you may not necessarily need to throw them completely away. And when you make the transition, maybe it's just one little bitty step at a time. Honey, tonight we're going to have dinner together. Remember we talked about common goals? Just one little thing. Let's plan a weekend where we go somewhere, right? Now, it could be at a place that is already over, and you just plant the seed. You say, this ain't going nowhere, but I'm just going to see what happens. Honey, would you like to go and have a weekend together? That might throw them by surprise. That might jolt them just enough to make a difference, right? And if they don't want to, if they're not, then you didn't expect anything out of it, but you made the step. You asked the question. You put yourself out there on front row. Listen, love requires extreme vulnerability. It's just the way it works. And if you're going to be loving someone who you had a hardship with, you're going to have to be vulnerable to them again. Okay? You don't just run from a marriage. You don't just get up and walk away. You fight and you work and you try and you what's that, Jay? You sound like you didn't agree with that. I mean,
hell, bro.
Your body language
My body language is gonna be like this. I love the fact that there's so many people that fought on and they kept their marriage. I am not agreeing with divorce. I am a divorcee. I am a person that divorced. I didn't like that whole thing, and it's something that is a negative light on some of the things that I accomplished, but I promise I got a friendship with the one that I went down that road with. But I'm going to go back and be real. If you're going through a situation and it's disrespectful, it's violent, I am not encouraging you to continue. I'm going to say it thoroughly, and I'm going to tell you keep your morals in front of you. Because again, certain things has to be said, because we have entered a covenant, and we entered it in the wrong way. We didn't really see God, we didn't put God in it, it wasn't poured in it, and then we try to hold something together, and you already know that you forsake everything that was done. And then you expect somebody to still worship you, and you ain't shit to worship. I'm sorry, you gotta bring something to the table to talk. I had something to the table, I didn't have all the stuff together. I am not gonna lie, I was a mixed up person, but I had substance. So again, she's seen it. And that's why she worked with me. And that's why we got a friendship today. But please don't bring your arrogance to the table and think that's gonna be enough. You didn't ask him for no help. You didn't ask no one. But then you expect somebody to still be there for you.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard, and that's the problem with some marriages today. They together because of their kids. That's one of the hardest things I ever want to hear. Somebody say, I just want to make sure the kids is making out. You're destroying them with the foulness of what you're going through. My whole thing is you got to work some things out way before the kids. But now you want to use the kids as a vessel. But that's why in the court system, that's the half the problem. They ain't used to encourage. They used as a pawn. I'm going to use them for child support. See, these are all negatives. Y'all didn't even have these kids for that reason. When you got married, some people didn't even have kids. So now you using negatives when you need to go back to a positive. You forgot him. We prayed on early because you forgot to pray. You forgot to go back to with your center. You went back to your ego. And that's why I told you on the upfront. It destroyed me. It didn't destroy her. Because as I was talking about my ego and I was doing, God damn it, she did the same thing. She became a beast in the world as well. So now, when I talk to my ex, it ain't about wealth. Because we both got it. I just didn't talk the right way at that time. And that's the problem with people. You get into you and you forget about them.
Yeah.
But she still heard me. And she capitalized on me. And she didn't use me as a weaver. She used me because she seen me. She seen what I was able to do. But as I told her she can do it, she did. She just didn't do it at that time because she was fighting me. She got away from me. She capitalized off of me. It was never off of nobody else. And she came back and told me that one thing I seen in you in high school, you was gonna be somebody. please understand, a real person that's seeing you is a person you need compared to a person that just wants you.
Yeah, and you know, I guess to piggyback off of that, people change, and they may not be the same person that you fell in love with. They may not be the same. They used to be go-getters. They used to be real nice and sweet.
Mm-hmm.
They used to be care about the household.
Right,
They
right.
used to want to do things with me, but now they don't anymore. And I got to figure out how I'm going to get my happiness out of the rest of my life. And you know, that's a major corner to turn in a relationship. You know, I just hate seeing people break up, but people break up a lot of times because they probably never was supposed to be together,
Ooh,
That
Lord.
part.
right? You know, it's like you come together and you really weren't supposed to be there, and
Circumstance.
yeah, and then you start
Sexual.
to, you know, yeah, circumstance, got
Sexual.
caught up, got whipped,
No, it was just good. Wait, it was good.
yeah.
Cause I ain't in the whips, I ain't in the handcuffing, and yeah, you know, it's just slavery thing still stuck on me. Just saying, but everything else was good. It was good.
You just say, yeah, I don't know where we talking about now.
I don't know either, but I ain't went down with all that other stuff. But y'all said whip, I wasn't really whip, but it was good. It was good. She knew me. I'm just saying, that bubble shrimp,
We
that bubble shrimp.
We're talking about relationship.
Oh yeah, I was just talking about other relationships. Yeah, sexual.
Yeah,
Back to the living
we're trying to get deep off in this relationship,
I thought I was deep too.
right?
Maybe not.
He wanted a whole nother-
So,
Okay.
listen, I think it is time for us to take our final break. We're going to come back, close this show up. We'll have about 10 minutes left. And I hope you folks have been enjoying the show. This is marvelous dialogue, if you ask
Before
me.
we go to break, man.
Go ahead.
I see you scrolling for the song. It ain't about the song. It's going back to Minecraft.
Okay.
One of the things I want to make sure I break everybody back off to remember, as we do the show, it is still about mental healing. This is one of the shows that's going to bring you more dynamics than I would ever seen anywhere else. Why? I want to grab you, but I want to help you. It's not just about me. It's not about telling you about my story to leave you out there. It is to give us mental healing. This is a dark time.
Yes.
And if we continue going down this dark path with no light, we're going to be lost.
Yes.
I want to give you some light, and the light is your mind. I want to enlighten your mind with Minecraft to open up the endless possibilities that God put in you so you can achieve what He did for you. It
Yes.
is for you. It's not for me.
Yes.
So this is a Minecraft change-up that I want to make sure we change correctly. So don't just laugh with me. Rock with me.
There you go. There you go. And so we're going to go ahead and run this clip, and we'll be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay. And I've been working on this stuff for a long time. I think we showed you 2 clips tonight. We've got about 80 of them ready to go to market.
Yes.
So you folks just stay tuned and continue to feel the vibe. For those of you who are will see, or if you haven't been to Minecraft on Facebook, I'm at My Minecraft 1, My Minecraft 1, and please follow so you can get all the latest material. We're continuing to work on our infrastructure in the back. So aside from just being social media posts, I have a body of work that I've created that I'd love for you to dive into. And so you folks stay tuned. We got more Minecraft on the way.
That's right.
Minecraft.
Minecraft 1.
Minecraft.
Get your mind-
My Minecraft.
Getting back to one. Getting us all on one accord.
Yes.
We're going to change the world.
We're gonna change the game, man. We're gonna change the game. You know, the whole. I think about it all day, every day. It's all I think about, and I just would imagine that if I could pour all of the ideas that I've created thus far into the minds of America, people would be nicer. People would work harder. People would be less stressed out. by their own emotional baggage. People will be fired up, passionate about their purpose. Like the whole movement of consciousness would grow so that we could all live a better life and have a better world and achieve more success in each of our lives. I'm just trying to pour in wisdom, man. And when people embrace wisdom, when you embrace wisdom and understanding, you really get the fruit of the land. You know, the Bible says that wisdom is greater than rubies and gold and silver and diamonds, because when you have wisdom, you can make right decision and right direction, and you can have right understanding, and you can have peace in your mind and your heart. You know, so that's what we're trying to take everyone to, man. Is just a better place in their own spirit, and a greater spirit in the self means a greater spirit in the world.
Can I say one thing for you?
Go ahead.
One of the things I feel is and again, I let the Lord speak through me. And one of the things I'll tell you is, he said, look around you. You're around people of greatness.
Yes.
I didn't start this walk with all y'all, but I'm with y'all.
Yeah.
So as y'all walk, just understand, you gotta gravitate. We're talking about that magnetic pulse. Okay? You are that pulse. But what are you gravitating to?
Yes.
Is he leading you, or are you just leading yourself to something to stick to? And that's the problem. You're getting away from him and you sticking to what he don't need you to.
Yes.
And I like to tell you is that's what we trying to change up, to make sure you are back centered.
Yes.
And then you gravitate. And then things gonna come to you. Now that's what you gotta watch out for.
Yeah,
because that's the scary part. Because see, you so used to sticking and going. And when you find out the power he has for you, it comes, but you have to be knowledgeable. That's why it didn't start off coming to you. It came to you going to it, okay? Because you had to learn your lesson.
Yeah.
After you get done with that, he works with you, and you gravitate to people that can help you, aid you, and get back to your mission. It's not about everybody on one accord. It's about everyone respecting one.
Yes. Yes.
Human
Yes.
people, it ain't about color.
Yeah.
Human people, listen, human. Everything that's human. We so stuck on black, white, colors. Human. You breathing. You mean something.
Yes.
Not about you of mine, you of just my blood. It is human. And that's where we fail. Because we so big on different. He wasn't doing no more than letting you know, I made it all different. But it was not to be different for us to disrespect. That was a choice. Get back to the mind. And that's why Minecraft won. Get you back to a Minecraft of his other than ours.
Yeah.
Our minds has been tainted. We have been taught and unfortunately enslaved in ways that we need to get away from.
You know what, Jay? What an outstanding point leading into our closing of the show. Because here's the dynamics that happen, and everybody who's been in a relationship can identify with this. So you're in a relationship, the relationship challenging, bad, you fuss and argue and disagree and whatever the case may be. And then y'all break up.
Okay.
And when you go to your new home or your new life, you get real close to the Lord. And you start praying all the time, and you start educating yourself, and you start working on your life and your everything. And I wonder what would have happened if you'd have started being close to the Lord while you were in your relationship.
I can dig it.
Then many of people make that, we'll call it mistake. Bring the Lord into your relationship. As we close out this segment on how do you handle it when someone isn't into you or you into them, whether it's a short period of time or a long period of time, we must depend on the Lord. We cannot change people's hearts. We cannot remove them from temptation. We cannot, we have to depend on divine power to make relationships work. It's not going to work on its own accord. And so if you're going through something and you want your relationship and you don't know where to start and you don't know how to get those people back, fight with prayer. Fight with the Word of God. Fight with, a divine, at least an opportunity for God to show you what He sees. Because if you can see what God sees, you'll probably find some answers to your questions, right? And go ahead.
And that's all about starting with yourself. Of course,
Absolutely.
you gotta pray, and you need to pray and find yourself. There's a lot of people who really have no idea who they are.
Yes.
So in handling this situation where someone isn't into you, I agree, more people should have gone the prayer route, the self-reflection, self-love, self-improvement, self-esteem before they left the marriage.
Right.
But at the end of a good day, whether you stay or you leave, you have to identify with yourself and go through those hard truths about yourself. Because if the truth hurts, you've been lying to yourself.
And listen, I'm gonna tell you, you cannot go through a lot of those hurts by yourself.
Can't go.
Because you don't know how to fix it. You keep wallowing in the same mess in your mind, in your thoughts. You keep having the same story, the same outlook, the same perception.
Same narrative.
You see it, the same narrative, the
And
same
that's
way.
called insanity.
Yeah, and so you got to find a way to change. And let me tell you, I talked earlier in the first segment about how to use prayer. Relationships is a perfect way to use prayer. And so if you have a great relationship with God, and I do, all the time I'm asking the Lord to show me the truth. Show me the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And I oftentimes get to see myself in the mirror. And sometimes I'll make some bold statements to myself. I'll beat myself up a little bit, but I'm going to listen to the Lord opening doors of my mind as to I guess the point I want to really get to is that we can use our prayer life to work through our relationship. So Lord, I'm unhappy about what he said. Heal me on that. Give me some understanding. Give me some wisdom on that. Lord, is this the place I'm supposed to be? If this is the place I'm supposed to be, make it comfortable for me. Give us a peace of mind. Give us a relationship. If this is not where I'm supposed to be, Lord, separate us. Send him over there. Send me over here. Give me a separation. Move me out of that house before I want to move out of that house so that I don't have a choice about whether I'm going to wallow in this mess anymore. I want you to just order my steps. I want to wake up one morning like, damn, I moved yesterday? That's how much I want the Spirit to come into my life. Right? Because when you ask for a change, God's going to come and give it to you. He's going to come right to you. Right? And listen, I have had numerous relationships. Numerous decisions that I had to make in my life that I allowed the Lord to move through me. I remember one day I wasn't happy with a job. I went in like completely disgusted, trying to hold on, but I asked the Lord, I said, Lord, if this ain't for me, get me out of there. Mm-hmm. And as soon as I walked in, I had a disagreement with the dude, and I just gave up on the whole thing. And a couple hours later, when I got over my anger, I said, damn, the Lord gave me exactly what I asked for.
You know something?
Right? He moved my feet before I even knew it. We have to use the Spirit of God to do it. David wasn't going to go fight Goliath. He wasn't going to go do none of that. He's asked the Lord to move his feet.
I had the same thing, but it was with liquor. I went up in there. I said exactly how I felt. They fired my black ass. I was out of there. So again,
Hey,
stick with prayer.
listen,
Don't mess with liquor.
That don't sound like the Lord right there.
I didn't say it wasn't.
That was your own accord. Right?
That what happened when you get that power to liquor.
See, men think that they do right and they are right, but the Lord
But I did
knows
wrong.
better. Yeah.
And that's what happened when you mix it up.
Yeah.
The power of the liquor.
Yeah.
It wasn't the power of, I said some stuff, I should have known I was going to get fired.
Yeah. Listen.
But hey, everybody laughed. But it was all on me afterwards.
Prayer. Prayer changes things. You ask the Heavenly Father to move your situation and circumstance, and He'll move upon it. Just one quick thing before we close out here. For those who are fighting for a relationship, there's nothing like a hug and a kiss. There's nothing like holding hands with saying no words. There's nothing like looking each other in the eyes and saying nothing. You can fight for your relationship non-verbally sometimes, and sometimes you have to do that before the verbal side will come around. But reach with every fiber of your being, as long as the Lord has authorized you to reach. But don't be reaching at something that's not for your greatest good. Okay?
And all I can say is reach for Bar Talk with Jay.
Yeah.
I'm right here for you. I'm
And
rubbing
this,
on myself.
Yeah, this concludes. There you go again.
Oh, my bad, my
And
bad.
this concludes our show for tonight. I want to thank you folks for being a part of our team, being a part of our show, being a part of this grand experience. We want to thank our guest tonight,
Oh,
Ms.
yes.
Stephanie, for being here with us.
So lovely.
And always sharing just great wisdom from a woman's perspective. We don't have enough of that on this show. We want to thank you.
The more she comes, the better
yeah.
I feel.
There you go. Once again, this has been Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay. And we are here every Thursday, Facebook Live, 7 to 9 p.m.
Yes.
Come and join us. If you missed the show, we're always at bartalkwithjay.com. And of course, any other platform that you look for us,
All
if you
Bar
just
Talk
type
with
in
Jay.
Bar Talk with Jay, you will find us. We thank you. We love you. We hope you have enjoyed the show. Please come back to see us. Share us, like us, subscribe. Share us, like us, subscribe. Keep us moving around, sharing this positivity, and we promise you we'll continue to produce it. Thank you again. And with that, folks, we are out.
Bar Talk with Jay.